So I was tagged by Godless Haze to do the Desert Island video, and this one was really, really tough. I'm sure it's tough for everybody. I'm sure for the same reason. It's really hard to think of what your favorite things are. However, your favorite things with the addition of being the exclusives, meaning you don't have the choice of variety, makes it even harder. So I'm going to do this 3 songs is the first one. I'm going to do that one last because I want to sort of use up my available time on that. So I'm going to I'm going to do the one YouTube video. My choice on this one was actually pretty easy. Back to the kind of not the first, wasn't the first YouTube video I watched, but it was one of the first videos I really loved on the internet. And then I have subsequently found it on YouTube. It's a video called Me and the Big Guy. I'd first seen it on Atom Films. Back in, God, it would have been 2004, maybe. Just loved it. Maybe 2003. Anyway, great video, incredible parody of 1984. Brilliantly done. It's just the perfect video. So I'll put a link in the down below on that if you guys want to see it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm sure everybody has. Book. This one again turned out to be simpler than I thought. My first thing that came to my mind was the Bible, of all surprising all of my atheists, maybe not so surprising, I don't know. But simply because it had so much material in it, I could always, it's always good for a LARF kind of a thing. I could always, But I had to be really honest and think my choice would be Frank Herbert's Dune. Only because in my life it has withstood the test of time. I've probably read it seriously, conservatively 20 times or more. And I've loved it every time I read it. I love it just as much, if not more so. And it's just I never tire of reading it. I love the book. So that is my second, that would be my book choice. For the film choice, again, now this one was tough because I love a lot of movies. Again, kind of like with music, movies that I love, depending on the mood I'm in, depending on what I feel like watching. Lots of variety of styles. So it's hard to pick just one. And my first choice was my favorite movie of all time, which truly is my favorite movie, which is Casablanca. I know that's cliche, but there's nothing I don't love about that movie. But I thought about, I probably watch Casablanca about once a year or so. Maybe a little bit more than that, depending. But about once a year is probably a good average for the last 15, 20 years. Literally, that's how often I've watched it. And I think if I watched it more than that, I would start to find... I'm afraid that I would find flaws in it. I would find stuff to dislike about it, and it would annoy me, and then I would hate it, and I don't want that to happen. So I wouldn't bring that movie along, even though it's my favorite movie. So I went through my number 2 favorite movie choices, looking for one that I could watch, and kept coming up in my mental list was the Indian film Ahsoka, if I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, which is just a brilliant film. If you haven't seen it, see it. I'd like to say it's a perfect film, but it unfortunately, and I know it's the genre, the singing and dancing, the Bollywood bits inserted in between, almost seemingly randomly. If I could pick the movie, I would actually edit those out of it and take the version without that, only because they don't ruin the film, but they're sort of a weird distraction that doesn't make sense. Outside of it. The necessity of making it a Bollywood film by including them. But with that, the rest of the movie is so great that I can't say enough good about it. It's 3 hours long. Amazing film. It's just simply epic. But the reason I would bring it, one of the side things of bringing it is that one of the versions of it I saw had like 8 different language subtitles. So what I would do is then when I watched it, it's in Hindi, so I would watch it and then with the English subtitles until I'd memorized the Hindi dialogue word for word, and then switch subtitles to different languages and memorize. So essentially, over the years of being on this desert island, I would learn the dialogue for the movie Ahsoka in like 8 different languages. So something to pass the time. All right, I'd be bored. Personal item. This one was pretty easy, and it's not cheating. I'm going to argue if somebody says that's not fair because it's not like the iPod or the internet connection or anything like that. But I would bring a laptop, but only for the purpose of having a word processor. Okay, it'd be a laptop with a word processing software on it and shitloads of disk space, so I could just write when I'm bored, or even when I'm not bored. I get compulsion to write stuff down. I write a lot. Whether it's keeping journals, writing, whatever it is, I write a lot. Short stories that I write and delete, whatever it is. Writing kind of keeps me sane. I don't know. But for what it's worth, it keeps me sane. And so I would need to have some means of writing stuff down. Otherwise, I'd be carving stuff on a coconut shell or some stupid thing like that. So I would have to have some means of writing and a laptop with word processing software and storage. Now on to the song. This one was really hard. 3 songs, because songs I love in one mood, I hate in another mood. That's the problem. Is I get if I'm depressed, I want to hear a certain song. If I'm excited, I want to hear a different song. If it's sunny outside and I'm outside on the beach, I want to hear a certain song. Different styles of music, different songs, different things. And so I've got favorites in all different varieties, and that's so hard. It's so hard to pick 3 that I would be sort of stuck with for all this time. So I'm going to go through here's the ones that didn't make the list. I mean, they made the list, but they didn't make the final cut. Okay, and just to go through this, "The Harder They Come" by Jimmy Cliff. I love Jimmy Cliff is amazing. I've seen him live, and "The Harder They Come" is such a great reggae song. I love it. It's a great song to crank when I'm out working in the yard or something and it's sunny out. It's just a great song. "Rope on Fire" by the band Morphine. I like the band Morphine, and "Rope on Fire" is one of my favorite songs of theirs, and it's just a great song. 1,000 Umbrellas by XTC. Just a cool song. When I'm in that mood, that's the song I want to hear. And this one was hard not to include on the final cut, but "Southern Cross" by Crosby, Stills, Nash. I love that song. It's beautiful. So here's the songs that made it in starting. First of all, just for length, Pink Floyd Echoes. Not just for length. I love that song, Echoes. Pink Floyd Echoes off the album Metal. It's the whole side of an album. So for length, you get bang for the buck kind of a thing. Lots of people chose that option in terms of going for length. And I have a personal experience I'm not going to go into for fear of incriminating myself, but it involved me, headphones, dark room, and other things I won't mention, listening to metal for about 7 hours straight over and over and over and over again. Old LP of metal. Just loved it. And Echoes is stuck in my mind as being I love it. So that would be that, Echoes. The next one, Roy Orbison's Blue Bayou. I love Roy Orbison. Inherited it from my mother. Listened to Roy Orbison when I was just little, and Blue Bayou was one of my favorite Orbison songs. So that one certainly was there. And then my favorite song of all time, I suppose, if I had to choose one, that fits a lot of different moods. Holiday in Cambodia by Dead Kennedys off the album Fresh Fruits for Rotting Vegetables. I listen to that a lot. It's on multiple playlists of mine. I have the CD I listen to in my car. I like the Kennedys, but Holiday in Cambodia is just it's just a great song. So that's my choices. And for tag, I'm out of time here. I tag Nelly Diddle, Atheist Aussie, Danny HC, Deco Juicer, and Latham Way. So you guys are tagged, and that's all I have. So take care.